Hi guys, welcome back to another daily tarot card. These are your daily tarot cards for Tuesday, June 27th, 2023. Today we're pulling from the AE Weight tarot cards. I just show the deck sometimes because I know myself as watching other people that do readings and are healers. It's like, ooh, what is that deck? You know what I mean? Because sometimes those decks really resonate with you, and it's just like when you get it, it's just like, ooh. I honestly sometimes I get new decks, I want to pull from it all week. Just like I love it, but it's just like I would definitely say AliExpress has amazing decks. If you shop around, you will get some with free shipping. The only reason I'm promoting that is because sometimes I've spent so much money on decks and they come with no book, and I'm like, I could have bought it from AliExpress. That gold foil tarot deck I bought from them, and it comes with a booklet, and it is phenomenal. The packaging is on point. The cards are beautiful. Like, honestly, like some of them, it's like, if not, especially if you're coming into this brand new, just like some tips from myself to save money. You know what I mean? And I'd like lessons I've learned, down the road. Like some people will offer to gift you like tarot decks. So definitely I feel bad because it's just like I know some of these decks cost a lot and I'm just like, oh, wait for a sale or something like that. You know what I mean? But that's their way of like tipping you. You know what I mean? Because they're like, let me buy this for you and I'll ship it to you. You know what I mean? But I think that's super sweet. You know what I mean? So I've got some really great decks from someone I used to read for, and you know what I mean. Like I will always cherish those. You know what I mean? Some of them were hits and misses, like that I bought from AliExpress. Like I got one that was cut like off. I used to work in printing, so it's just like I don't know if it was laziness or they're just like they think you could get away with it. Like I fought it, and they're just like, oh, it's fine. And I'm like, how is that fine? Like it's not even like who wants to film with a half deck? You know what I mean? So whatever. I'm actually fighting the case right now. They're saying that I got it. I got a box full of buttons. I'm like, so they're hit and miss. But honestly, like once you start building rapport with Ali, it's just like me. I notice when I buy like a bunch of stuff at once, it comes all together. Like I even told my son that he just got like some Star Wars Lego kits that he put together, and I was just like, if you order them all together, because he got like a phone case, he got a pop socket, and he got two Lego kits, and I'm like, if you would have bought it all together, it would have been here a lot quicker, and he's just like, yeah. So I'm just like trying to teach him patience, but um, you know, it's just like if you're new to this, honestly, there's some really great decks on there. Go check it out. So, Queen of Wands, we are highlighting you as an individual. You have on point intuition. People see you as a leader. You're seen as a light. A lot of people will come to you for advice because they know that you care. You know what I mean? Like I was talking to someone that I read for. He's a rapper, and he's like, I know I'm talking to you a lot about this, and I'm like, you can trust me. I said, obviously, this is something that you're going through. I'm like, this is something that's on your mind. I said, so I'm here for you. I'm like, I cannot answer you all the time because I'm not as easy as accessible as I used to be. I said, but I definitely have your back. Like, I'm definitely here for you. Um, but it's just like, I can't be like that all the time. I used to be like that all the time. You know what I mean? But it's just like life has changed. You know what I mean? So it's just like they understand that. And I told them, like, when it's not busy, I will definitely answer you when I can because I work night shift. And he's just like, no, I understand that. I'm like, okay. But like last night I was up till like, I think like 3:30. And I'm like, all right, I got to go to bed. I got to get up for work tomorrow. He's like, okay. So it's just like, you know, anyone that's part of the tribe knows that. You know what I mean? It's like I always tell everybody, I'm here as long as you want me to be here. You know what I mean? Like I am by your side. But I feel like Spirit is saying to you, like, you are about to come into another chapter of your life. Remember I said this was going to be like a brand new book for some of us? I feel like myself, this is a brand new book where, you know, I feel like I've been participating in life for so long. I feel like only recently I've like begun to enjoy the sweetness and the flavors of life again. You know what I mean? I definitely feel like it's like survivor's guilt. I know when I think it was like September of the year Shane passed, and we were gonna play. We were playing Fable, and I just felt so guilty, and the kids knew that. Like I was playing Far Cry when we moved here. And I don't know. I couldn't play it. I don't know. I was just like, I didn't feel it. I was just like, I'm sorry. Like, I tried, but, you know. But, like, you know, the kids got me into Fortnite for a very long time. I love Fortnite. I haven't played in a while, in a minute. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, I've been binging, like, Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. The summer's here, so there's lack of shows on TV. So I'm sure, like, I've been feeling Fable a lot, so I'll probably go play that. You know, so it's just like, I feel like that's where it's like self-care, where it's just like, you know, like, you know, having that moment to yourself and doing the things that you love. Like, I definitely wanted to sit outside on Saturday, but I was just like, you know, how mean is that? The storm is coming in, this thunderstorm was coming in, and I'm just like, I just put all this food out for the birds, like the blue jays and everything, and I'm like, in the finches, and I'm like, Sonny's gonna come out with me because he'll whine like a bitch if I don't have him with me. And it's just like, he's gonna bark at them. So I'm like, okay, can't do that, you know. So I'm gonna start tackling on the backyard there, and definitely needs a grass cut. I already trimmed the grass this year, but it's just like, you know what I mean, like planting stuff. It was just cold. It was like 2 here. We live in Canada. We're in northern New Brunswick, and it's just like 2. You know what I mean? That's like 14 Fahrenheit or something, maybe a little higher than that. But it's just like, you know what I mean? It's like, who's gonna plant in that? The seeds won't thrive. So I definitely have to get out there and start that. It rained for like 2 weeks solid, and you know, it was 42, so that's like 105. You know, and I'm like, ugh. We went from like 16 to 105. Like, what in the bipolar is going on? You know, and that's what I love about the government of Canada. That's why they're triple taxing us. It was 105 the other day, so we need to triple tax you. It's like, y'all don't make no sense. You know, I feel like for some of you, they will say this is a divine connection because of the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Fine. For me lately, I feel like the King is like, this is what you need to listen to. Follow your intuition. Embrace your bravery, courage, strength, and resilience. I've been saying this for a while. I said, this is going to be the year. Fire was going to be all about this year. This year's all about enlightenment. Showing you, I felt that for a while. It's like, you know, not only did you do this, but you did this and this and this and this. And it's like, if they can't appreciate that, like, I know his earthly self didn't appreciate it. I know he appreciates it now. But you know what I mean? Like, hindsight is 2020, but it's just like when you're all caught up in your own ego and bull crap and insecurities, it's like you don't appreciate those. Maybe he did see what I did for him, and he just is just like, well, if I tell her I appreciate it, maybe then, you know, she'll be like this. Like, I know he was concerned because one of his co-workers' wife got bored at home and she did something that she wasn't supposed to. You know what I mean? I'm like, but you cannot take out what goes on with your coworker out on me because I am a fucking ride or die. Oh, excuse my language. I'm a ride or die. You know what I mean? It's like, I will have your freaking back, you know? And I did with him. It's like, that morning we got up, got his backpack, his coffee, his freaking wallet, his keys, his cigarettes, his, you know, whatever the flip he needed. Wouldn't turn on the car. He's sitting there backing out. I made sure no cars freaking, because they rushed down that street. Like, they were doing like 80, maybe sometimes 120, you know, down that freaking road. You know, because it's just a straight shot to where the major intersection is. And I made sure no one would sideswipe him while he was backing out of the driveway. And I'm just like, I would tell him, hold it, because at the end of our street was a stop sign. They would just book it all the way to the end. You know, so I was just like, you know, at least he left this earth knowing he was loved. We watched a movie on Saturday as a family, watched The Walking Dead on Sunday. And then, you know, we made plans for that evening because nobody knew, you know. But it's just like, at least he knew that, you know, at least he spent that weekend being loved and nurtured like the way that a family person should feel that way. You know what I mean? Made his favorite meal and all that good stuff, you know? So he was just like, make sure no one eats my lasagna. I'm eating that tonight. I'm like, yeah, no problem, you know? So it's just, you know, I feel like that's why they're saying, like, recognize who you are. So that, like, you know what I mean? I say these kind of things because it's like, recognize who you were. Like, if you went through a divorce, a separation, a bereavement, it's like, recognize who you are and what you bring to the table. And don't settle for anything less. If that person fails to see that, then, you know, this is where Spirit is saying, you got to leave this shadow side behind. That person doesn't recognize it, they don't deserve you. If you're single the rest of your flipping life, then so be it. I'd rather sit there living my life single, standing tall on my feet, than living on my knees. I'm not gonna. I'm not. Don't mean that in a funny way. It's like I'm not gonna sit there and be broken down and forced to change and conform and all this garbage ever again. You know what I mean? Where did it get me? You know what I mean? Unappreciated. So it's like, you know, it's like it ain't that bad. You know what I mean? People try to make, oh, you're alone. Oh, what's wrong with you? Nothing. I know what I bring to the table, and until someone sits there and sees what I bring to the table and understands that and appreciates that, it's like, you know what I mean? I ain't asking for the world. I'm just saying, like, leave me the f alone. Let me do what I need to do. Let me be me. And if you can't let me be me, then I'm not for you. You should not get into a relationship with someone because you want to change them. They are perfect the way they are. And if you can't appreciate that, then you're not for them. People should grow with each other, not change just to fit into your mold. You know what I mean? I feel like this is where justice comes in. And it's like balance is being restored into your life. Allow it to. For some of you, this is a marriage. This is a divine connection. For some of us, it's like that order is being brought back into our life. You know what I mean? These are the things that we verbally set out to the universe that are now going to come into fruition. You know what I mean? This is why I'm saying this is a brand new chapter. This is a brand new book. I don't even think this is a chapter. I feel like this is a brand new book for a lot of us. Like even Ed and Nancy in our grief group was saying this, like this is the next chapter. I don't even feel like it's a chapter. I feel like it's a brand new book. You know what I mean? You see what you bring to the table. Like, Ed saw who he was and he took the time to heal himself. He was 5 years. When he was at 5 years, I started my journey. And I was just like, oh my God, 5 years. I can't even imagine what 5 years from now is going to look like. You know what I mean? But he was always so encouraging and loving. And then him and Nancy started dating and he made Nancy an admin. And it's just like, we got both sides of it as a widower and as a widow. Where they both, were showing like, what are the cautions. And like he even said, do not put that you're a widow because people are a widower because people will take advantage of that. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? If you know, you know. You don't, you don't, But that's why I'm saying that, like, who you are. Just because that is a part of our journey and we learn to build around it again. Yeah, sometimes we get rocked to it again. I definitely got triggered by Father's Day. But the thing is, at the same time, it's like, you keep moving forward. Feel what you're feeling, but keep moving forward. You know what I mean? It's just like we know what we've been through. We know what we've experienced. You know what I mean? And now we're evolving. This is like 2.0 because now, like how blessed it is, even though it was a hard time, we need to crush that up and make it to something beautiful because now we see ourselves differently. Now we see our value. All the things that we learned in that time. It's like if someone, if God, Yahweh, Yeshua bless us with someone to come in, divine connection, divine being comes into our life. You know what I mean? It's like it's going to be on a deeper, whole new level. This is going to be totally different because it's like, they see you. That's why, Ed and Nancy both say it's better to be with someone that has gone through a divorce or a bereavement because they understand. It's hard for someone to understand you that has not experienced the things that you've experienced. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I feel like that's why they were showing the door to romance with the angel orca cards, where it was just like your heart is in a cage and now you're opening up that cage and kind of like setting it free, And whatever way that transpires and transforms to is what's going to happen. They know what we need. They know, even though we don't understand the timing of things and why it takes so flippin' long. You know what I mean? It's like, like we're watching Men in Black. It's like, oh, it's, it's a week in our time. And they're like, oh, what's that in galaxy time? And they're like, what's that in ours? Oh, it's an hour. You know what I mean? Didn't they always say that? What a year for us is like a blink of an eye in the universe. It's like, that's so crazy, I remember they saying that in the spiritual book, but that's where I feel like the King of Wands comes in here and it's like, listen, you need to follow your intuition as you move forward. This wheel is moving forward, My son actually came to me, and it's hard for me, but I understand he's growing up. He wants to get rid of all of his Five Nights at Freddy's plushies now. And I'm like, that's where your YouTube channel based off of and everything like that. And he's like, I know. He goes, but I've outgrown them, Mom. And I'm like, ugh. I'm like, but I don't want to sit there and get rid of them and then you want to re-get them again. And he goes, I know. But it's just, that's where he is. So, Even elephants. This kid has loved elephants as far as I can remember. We went to African lion safari, and he got car sick, and it dawned on us, like, at the end of the trip, he has car sickness. So we learned, how to deal with it. It's like, make sure he eats something, make sure, we get a medication so he doesn't get car sickness anymore. We had to wait an hour and then it would kick in. Um, but it's just like the things that we had to learn. We didn't know. How do you know what I mean? Just like allergies. Like, we had Maiden. I almost said Sydney. We had Maiden, and she was 75% Siamese and 25% Tabby. He never broke out with Maiden, you know. So we got another cat. Boom, broke out in allergies because it was a tabby, you know. But how do you know? They're. So it's just as you move in life. But it's just like I told him. I said I got rid of things, and I said I should have kept them. And I said because when I went in my 20s, I wanted them again. So that's what I was saying to him. I'm like, I'm just worried because our basement had cancerous gas in there. They're plushies. Even though if I secure them in a bin and everything, I just don't want anything to seep into them and then, he breathes that in or, whatever. I don't want that affecting him as when he's older. So I'll, for now I'll put them away, but it's just like whatever he wants, whatever's junk we'll get rid of and whatever's, he wants to sell or anything like that, we will. But it's just, it's bittersweet, My baby's growing up, he's maturing and I love that. I just feel like he went through this hard time. Thank God that, I unfortunately, and Shane, we even looked at each other and said that. I said, we went through things as teenagers. And he goes, I know. And I said, we're going to have to really watch that with the kids. And he's like, yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm like, okay. I said, as long as we recognize that, we have to be patient and love it. The way we were treated, we got to do differently. So they know that they're always loved and supported. And he agreed, It's not easy, especially now because of social media. It's even worse. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I tell them, I'm like, who are they? You don't even know them. So don't let a nobody freaking opinion affect you. I said they hide behind a computer or even on the headset. I had to get on there and curse some kids out because I'm just like, who the hell do you think you're talking to? Oh, who's this? Oh, it's his mother. I said, do you want me to report you? Oh, no, 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 no. And then they're like, we'll report you back. And I'm like, go ahead. I said, I don't even care. I said, go ahead and do it. And they're like, okay, promise you won't report us. I said, good, then stop talking that way. Because I won't tolerate that. It's like, I don't want to hear no N-word or nothing. It's like, come on, wake up now, Mm-mm. Just because you're not being monitored, it ain't going to mean that nobody else is being monitored. You know what I mean? I'm like, I even tell my kids, I'm like, I'll take off my slipper and hit you with it. Like, we don't behave like that. Those words aren't used in my household. I don't care if you play GTA or whatever the heck it is and they use these words. Nope. I don't care. You ain't gonna do... No, 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 no. Nope, nope, nope. You gotta watch them, man. Chariot, we're in charge of our life. And I feel like that's exactly where the King of Wands says. Follow your intuition because you're in charge of your life. You're in charge of where you're gonna go, where you're headed. This new chapter, this new book that you're starting is up to you. How are you going to live it? I kind of feel robbed because, like, I'll be 43 this year. And I'm like, oh my gosh, 43. It's not even that. It's just like, I don't know. I just feel like I was robbed of that time with my kids because, like, now they're like 15 and 13. And it's just like, they just on my Facebook, it's just like Jenner when he was started using his jumper. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I miss that time. Like I said, the best time of my life was becoming a surrogate and being with my kids. God, Yahweh and Yeshua blessed me with jobs that I've been able to be with them, but it's just like, you know what I mean? It's not the same, It's not the same, but, what can you do? I'm grateful for that time, 100%. But it's just like, with determination and dedication, you will be the victor wearing the wreath. You may have to work harder than others. That's okay. You know what? Put it in. Because then you're going to be sitting there one day being like, it was worth it. Now look where I am. Believe in yourself. I was watching Joe Coy on Saturday with Michael, and that's exactly what he said. You may have to work harder for others, but you know what? I'm working harder so my kids don't have to. So they can sit there and be ahead of the game, That's how we are raising our kids, The world, that part of yourself is like where that confused or naive, we're still growing and learning, You know, think about how intelligent you are now and how much you've grown in this time right now to this moment and how much more you will because you're eager to learn. You know what I mean? Schooling doesn't stop when you graduate and you get your diploma and it's like you're done. It's like you are learning every single day. You're learning life lessons. Now you're living life. Now you're learning through life. You know what I mean? Those experiences. You bring that knowledge to the table, you know? That's why it's important to, it doesn't matter how young or how older they are. It's like, listen, those people are brought into your life for a reason to teach you things. But they're saying, as that part of that book is done, it's like, don't forget the lessons it's taught you. Don't forget, follow your intuition. Don't repeat patterns that we've already been through. You know what I mean? Temperance. We need to, we're learning to control our emotions, to go with the flow of what things are going. You try to fight that flow, that's when things get worse. I've learned that the hard way, But this is where it's going to lead you to the sun. That's going to lead to a lot more beauty and light in your world. You can't control people. You can sit there and lead them to the water, but you can't make them drink it. And if they refuse to drink that water, that what you're trying to help them with, that's them. That's on them. That's not on you. You keep moving forward. Some people don't want to change, and that's fine. Change scares a lot of people. But, definition of insanity. Them repeating the cycles over and again is the same as you sitting there trying to help them. They always complain, life is not doing this, life is not doing that. But what are you doing to change it, though? Life isn't this, life isn't that. But, okay, why don't you try removing things from your life that add to that and see where your life takes you? You know what I mean? It's just, you keep living in toxic patterns, they're just going to repeat themselves. They're doomed to repeat themselves. And I feel like that's what the Knight of Wands is telling, our King of Wands is telling us right now. That's where I feel like that strong intuition pull where it's just like, listen, you've overcome the demons. You've overcome the shadows. Now you're on the brink of a brand new book, a brand new chapter for some of you. Some of us is a brand new book, 2.0. And it's like, don't fuck it up. Excuse it. I keep swearing. This is going to freaking get me in so much trouble. But it's like, don't screw it up. Don't sit there and, just date people for the sake of, loneliness or anything like that. You want to date someone, date someone. You know what I mean? But don't bring them into your home. You don't need to have a revolving door of people. If it's something serious, they will wait. They will understand, Even Wendy Williams, I miss Wendy. She's like, do not bring those people, wait a year, then introduce them to your kids. You know what I mean? It's just, But I hear what she's saying, Your home is your sanctuary. You know what I mean? And like she said, she's like, I have my place, they have their place. Sometimes they stay over, sometimes they don't. But me, I'd just rather keep, like how they say church and state, I'd rather keep them both separate, My kids are cool. They're like, it's, you've been, single for a long time. They know it's almost 7 years and all that. That's where I'm lucky, but it's still, I still remember what Junior said to me, Mom, I cannot sleep with someone in the house, a stranger in the house. You know what I mean? So, to me, that's important. I never want my kids to feel unsafe or weird in their own home. At all. I never want them to feel a certain way. Like, this is their house. So. Everybody's different. This is not a judgment. I'm just saying, Be smart and intelligent in this chapter. See your worth. You know what I mean? What is worthy of being in your life. And this is not an ego trip or saying you're better than anyone else. Don't take it like that. I'm just saying, you need people to grow with. You need to be around positivity. You need to be around that people that will bring enlightenment into your life, and see you for you and who you are and all that you do. Not here to change you and modify you or, living in the past of who you were before. And it's like, oh, I missed that one. It's like, well, then go back in life and go rewind to that part. But I'm all the way over here, that part of life is done. You're living in the past. This is who I am in the present. You don't like who I am in the present? Then bye. It's just, that's life. Be hardworking, be driven. You will have to work harder than some others, and that's fine. You don't have to look at. That's why you need to live life for yourself. People do things differently. People are different. Everyone's an individual. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you don't want to put the work in, that's fine. But don't sit there and rag on someone else for putting the work in. They're doing what they need to do to get to where they're going. You want to, they're showing like D's get degrees. Someone Shane went to school with. That was so funny. It's true. They ended up at the same job, so it didn't make no difference. But I feel like Shane was more like, so like, it's just like, in high school he skipped and everything like that. It wasn't the lack of intelligence. He was just bored, So, Shane was a perfectionist. I know that, especially when it came to work. Not feel like that was a part of that, but I was very proud of him. Even the fact that he just graduated, I was proud of him. But he got on the dean's list and everything like that, and I'm just like, see, never skip school, nothing. Just who you are as a young person to who you are now does not define the rest of your life. School's not for everybody, So just give yourself time. You'll figure it out. Meantime, work. Make some money. Build up your credit. Start, if you not sure what you want to do, stay at home, man. Don't go wasting money paying thousands of dollars for rent. When you can stay at home, help with the bills, help around the house, do it, be a team about it, You don't some parents will charge like $400 for rent, you know what I mean? But it's just like, if you guys work as a team, you know what I mean? It's just like, you cover one bill, we'll all help out with the groceries. You know what I mean? You cover your stuff, I'll cover all this. Work as a team, So it's just like, that's what life's about. Family union. Money will come and go. Family's forever, Obviously, don't let people take advantage of situations either. But you live your life for you. Don't worry about what anyone thinks of you. Oh, you're a brown noser, you're this or that. You're just doing what makes sense to you. That's your vibration. That's where you need to go. That's what you need to do. It doesn't resonate with them. That's fine. It's not for them to get. It's not their journey. You keep shining. You keep doing you. People don't understand it or don't get it. That's fine. It's not for them to get. It's not their life. But you need to follow your intuition. Now, who you are in the past is gone. You know what I mean? It's like you've learned everything you can from them and you're thankful for the journey. Even as painful and horrible as it is sometimes, it's like, when you come out the other side of it, it's just like, I'm thankful for the lessons it taught me. It sucks as an MFer that's the way I had to learn it, but, nevertheless, this is where you are and just keep moving forward. So I hope you guys enjoyed these daily tarot cards for Tuesday, June 27th, 2023. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next daily tarot card.